Wunderbar. So this is the last movie that we did for this arc. So I don't think Wyatt remembered what we were supposed to do for this episode. But how fast do you think you can get a tier list going?
Give
Final
me
scores.
pretty much. Somebody throw all the posters for the movies while I get the actual site up and running. I do.
So while somebody's doing that, let's just go do the round table. Tom,
I'll do the posters.
what do you think of this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10. What? I
10,
don't remember.
it's-
I don't remember what I gave Jackie Brown.
Just
think
don't think about that. Just rate the movie. We'll do that part later.
Yeah, we can figure
7.
this out with a tier list. So you give it a
7.
7?
7.
Ninja, you still there?
A solid 7.
All right, he's probably dealing with some doggy business, of
The
course.
Doog.
River, what would you say you would give this movie out of 10?
I was gonna say a 7.
That's fair. Slayer?
Um, it is kind of hard to say, especially because we always focus so much on plot specifically when we do this, that for this movie where the plot is kind of secondary to everything else, I'm kind of just like, how much does everything else the movie does compensate for the fact that it can be a bit meandering? So I'm more like a 6, maybe a 5. But then the few scenes I enjoy, I really fucking enjoy.
Yeah, that's
There's
kind
things
of
with this movie that really elevate it. So I think I will just kind of settle on a 6 and just kind of leave it there. I think it's about fair.
fair. I think I would rate around a 7 as well, because it's like, while it does seem like the plot is a little out of focus, what's here is really good. Like, hell, even the fight between Bruce, like we talked about the controversy, but we didn't actually talk about the fight. The fight between Bruce Lee and Brad Pitt was a really good scene as well.
Oh, we don't have to worry about it. It's actually already somebody already made it. So
What?
let me. The tier list. It's already.
Oh, somebody already made. Well, I mean,
Yep.
I feel like
Oh,
the tier.
so will I stop getting the posters or?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I feel like-
So we've got what's it actually is. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Inglourious Bastards, Death Proof, Django, and Hateful Eight. It's got all of them.
Did we do Death Proof? I don't remember Death
Yes,
Proof.
we did.
Yeah, we definitely did Death Proof.
We did Death Proof.
I might
Was
not
it-
have been there.
No, I think
Oh.
you were. I
You
popped
were.
up halfway through it. Do you remember
that
the
the
guy on the
one-
motorcycle?
Well, you weren't here for 1. Was that the one?
Wait, were you?
Okay, I wasn't here when you watched Django, but I came
No,
in after Django.
No,
Yeah.
so here's the thing.
Oh. Right.
Yes, Slur, you were there. It was Max who came in late because Max actually wasn't planning on being part of that episode. You were there.
Well, no, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I believe I was working at the time, and I didn't know exactly how long I was going to be working.
Yeah, well, the point being is, Slur, you were there.
Oh, this is Kurt Russell fucking...
Carbot monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was there. For some reason, I keep confusing Death Proof with some other movie.
Would it happen to be fuck? What the hell is that movie called? God damn it! It was a double feature. Tom, Ninja, one of you guys.
Planet Terror.
Planet Terror. Were you confusing it with Planet Terror?
Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Maybe?
God, I don't know if I fucking said my piece, but I watched that movie and oh my god,
It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
that
a
was,
ride.
Max's
it's
favorite.
it's entertaining for what it is.
What, you didn't like Quentin Tarantino's penis?
There
What
was
the
a lot of
wait, what
stuff
the
that was
fuck are you
definitely
talking about?
Delicious gore.
something that should have been cut,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
pretty sure his
What,
penis was cut.
what are you talking about? I'm now confused.
Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
So the movie Death Proof was not launched by itself. It was
Right.
launched with a second movie. That was also no, Planet Terror was pretty long, wasn't it?
Wasn't
Yeah, they're both decently long. I mean,
But basically
What?
it was a double feature. Like if you would have gotten the DVD, you can't buy the DVD of Death Proof without buying as well the other movie, which was Planet Terror. And Planet Terror was a Robert Rodriguez movie, which is why we didn't cover it. But Quentin Tarantino is in that movie, and it's a movie about Bambos, and it definitely embellishes. It's definitely got the Tarantino level of gore, maybe a little bit more,
Way more.
a little bit.
It's great.
An uncomfortable amount, please stop.
Juicy,
Alright.
delicious amount.
If you haven't seen it, Wyatt, it might be one of your favorite movies, but I'm not a fan.
Why would it be my favorite movie? Because there's gore?
Because there's a shitload of gore. Like I said, you might really like it.
I
You might get turned on. Who knows?
I like gore, but I don't think I'd be like, if it's not gore.
I don't know, dog. When we talked about Kill Bill, sounds like Planet Terror would have been your movie.
I was about to say it's not that I like go crazy about gore, but then I was telling Sarah how I don't particularly like how censored the first season of Attack on Titan is, because as someone who read the manga,
I feel like we should stop talking about it. And when you watch the movie, you can rank it on your own. But I feel like it's something that would be in your wheelhouse.
So
like I feel like you would probably put this on not top 10, but maybe top 50.
So I don't. Okay. So do we want to all be boxes so you guys can see, or would you rather just all
Boxes?
remains?
What are you talking about?
Because I'd have to screen share so you guys could see it, and that would turn us all into boxes, fucking with the format of the recording.
If it fucks with the format, you don't necessarily have to.
Well, it's like that was what we used to just be the squares anyway. So I'm not particularly like.
I mean, if you can
it.
do it in like a couple of seconds and it doesn't really take that much effort, then yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw it out there before.
It's not that big of a deal. Like obviously.
By the way, that entire conversation you just had, I spent like going through all of the list of the movies like a fucking idiot. Thing is like, why do I only have 8? There should be. I know there's 9. Why is there only 8? It's because I counted Kill Bill 1 and 2 as like one fucking thing.
That's kind of what we did.
Yep, that's the way we watched it. But like, if you're gonna count like the 9 movies,
but technically, yeah.
Yeah, so I kept fucking thinking I was forgetting the movie.
Scoot everybody around, and voila. It's a little crude. You guys will probably see the recording later, but we'll start with release order as we do this. So, Reservoir Dogs.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, hang on, let me pull up the stream. My bad.
I think that was like our unanimous 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't think any of us could even think of like a single significant flaw with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as rough as it is, like as much as you can see in so many ways that it is like early in his career, like there's not a single fucking hair out of place in that movie. It's so good.
Not enough to bring your score down for sure.
All right. So we've got 1 in the perfect so far.
Mm-hmm.
Next is
Pulp
Fiction.
Is Jackie Brown on this list?
Yes, Jackie Brown is on
Of course.
the list.
Okay, my bad. That's it.
Well, it's because it's right here.
Gotcha.
I definitely do think Pulp ranks lower than Reservoir.
Yes.
Like, I remember when I was younger, that would have been considered a hot take. I don't know that it necessarily is now. Because Pulp Fiction was just very much lauded as, like, everybody's favorite fucking movie for so long, but...
So much is the greatest thing ever, yeah.
It's
really
incredibly quotable. Like, it's
Yes.
really fucking cool. It's so much better. That's just really awesome and memorable. I do think it's lower on any list than Reservoir.
Yeah, and I would
Maybe
agree.
it should go in also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an awesome tier movie.
It is an awesome movie.
Go fucking see the movie if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction. But yeah, I believe
so. We're putting
it
here. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. 9 out of 10.
And then after this was Jackie Brown. After this, right?
Jackie Brown.
This is the one I wasn't here for.
That's right.
That's the one.
Here for it. Did you watch it?
Have you seen it?
Once a very long time ago. I don't really feel confident to comment on it.
Fair enough.
That's fair. As much as I loved it, I feel like this could go under the good territory.
I want to put it in okay, to be
Same.
honest with you.
Ninja, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What would you say? Where would you put Jackie Brown in?
I was kind of leaning between either good or okay myself. I mean, I think it's hard because, like, if you compare it to other Tarantino movies, I think it forces it down into the okay. But if you were to compare it to like just other movies in general, I still think it's above average.
Well, this isn't an objective like an out of 10 score. This is a tier list.
No,
so
I agree.
things will be up and down relative to one another as well, and we might move things around. So,
of course, yeah.
So
I would say okay for now. Let's put it there. It's kind of a middle.
Yeah.
bar.
Well, I figured all of our reactions to Jackie Brown were like that. It was okay.
Yeah.
So.
And listening to the episode,
I liked it.
I did like it. I liked the movie. I liked everything about it. Like,
yeah, so did I. But we agreed that it was like, yeah, it was. Yeah.
I did listen to the thing after, it's like just to kind of catch up, and the impression I got from hearing you guys talk about it was like, it's okay.
Yeah. So I'm saying, yeah, it happened.
It's watchable, you know.
It
can
is.
be on, I guess.
Hold on. That isn't that the worst rating for?
I know that's like
that something is just okay.
Deserve that.
But I'm already kind of resigned to the fact that might actually end up being the lowest that we get.
You don't
I
think?
don't know. We still haven't gotten.
Well, we haven't got to Death Proof.
I love how we said something completely different.
Oh no.
All right, what's next.
Kill Bill. We're gonna forego Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. We're just gonna put them in the same spot. So,
well, are we?
We watched it in one.
Okay,
go.
I just want to throw the question out there. Like, do any of us feel like there's any real significant difference in quality between Kill Bill 1 and 2?
You know, since we have them separated, I feel like it wouldn't hurt to put them in different categories.
The reason
even
that
just
I
like
think,
talk about it.
The reason I think they should be considered as one is because that's how Quentin kind of intended them to be.
To the point we tried even to find the version where they're smashed together.
The whole bloody affair.
Like that is like his vision. So if you subscribe to the belief that it's like, well, artistic vision and all that, it's like that's what he originally wanted. It's just back then, you know, Snyder cut and all that hadn't happened yet, so like nobody was going to sit through a 4-hour fucking.
At the same time, though, and if we're going to get into like flaws in Kill Bill, a lot of the worst choreography kind of specifically happens in part 2.
Ooh, explain.
Well, but part 2 also has a lot of like the significant narrative payoffs.
That is true.
So it's kind of hard to evaluate them separately.
Yeah, I did kind of just like want to throw it out there just in case, because yeah, I remember the choreography, especially the big brawl scene, being like a point of contention, and that any sins that can be attached to that specifically are specifically to Kill Bill 2. Whereas narratively, it's like even just
well,
down
that
to
was Kill
the
Bill
final...
1.
That was Kill Bill 1.
Yeah, the Crazy 88.
Yeah,
Crazy 88
Crazy
fight
88
is in 1.
Volume 1.
I literally said the hateful 88. Jesus. Yeah,
the
Crazy 88.
Just 88
cabin.
Just
a lot of Black
88
Dingus.
Oh god. Just a lot of 88 Samuel L. Jackson's just coming in going, motherfucker.
Close the door.
Yeah, fucking 88 people are trying to close the door.
You need 2 pieces of wood.
Need 2 pieces of wood. One ain't good enough. God damn it. It's a fucking blizzard outside.
Well, not anymore. With this many people, you need 22 pieces of wood.
They're all just trying to hold it and hammer it.
Just a little bit.
Frenchie's going to be real pissed he missed this, okay?
Frenchie's going to be upset.
Yeah.
This is the thing he was looking forward to. Hey, River, you know what we're talking about. That's funny.
Yeah.
She's been watching it, and then I've just been glancing over her shoulder like, look.
You should probably watch it so we can talk about that later, but we'll talk about that later.
All right.
Anyway, we're still on Kill Bill. I want to put Jackie Brown above Kill Bill, but if you guys want to put it in the same category, I can buy that.
See, oddly enough, I was going to put it at least one rung above Jackie Brown, because even for all of its flaws, I think number one, not only is it visually more satisfying than Jackie, but it is also narratively more satisfying than Jackie. Like, just as a story, there's a lot more going, and its setups and payoffs are better.
Yeah.
Did somebody just leave? I
The
just
acting in
looked
Jackie Brown's
over.
pretty good, but the acting in Kill Bill is definitely like better. It's kind of hard for me like to concede on it because I really do enjoy Jackie Brown, but I don't know. I fucking
I know when you're looking at it in this visual
but
medium,
like I'm also thinking no, but I'm also thinking
bottom.
about Kill Bill. Like fuck, I really
I almost
there's
now that I've had it straightened out just in my own head of the timeline, the Crazy 88 is in Kill Bill 1 because I actually had the Crazy 88 and the scenes with Bill in the one movie for some fucking reason.
No.
I
yeah.
almost want to
The
put 2 like a rung above 1 because everything with
just-
Bill was just so much more satisfying to me.
I
I
just
feel like it's
realized
fair to
where did
separate them, like
where did
since
Tom
we have
go?
it separated. But like I
He's
do agree
having
with
internet issues.
what? Oh.
Who knows? I assume. I don't know.
Oh, like, so if he comes back and has something to say about Kill Bill, we can add it to it. It's not, these things
Alright.
are set in stone.
I mean, if we're willing to split the two apart, I mean that's fine. I guess you could say one is better than the other. You know.
Well, I feel like if we have it like here in this tier list, obviously we watched it as a whole and we looked at it as a whole, but like looking
Yeah.
at with these two halves, like there is something significant about the second half that's better than the first one.
Well,
Oh,
then
yeah.
again, if I'm the only one who's putting the 2 parts on different tiers, and otherwise it's kind of just agreed that they're one thing, I'm willing to walk back and just have them both in the same tier.
Fair enough.
Like, if I'm the only one who's like trying to like get that,
I mean, if it
I
if it
wouldn't
mind
helps
it.
for, we could move Kill Bill 1 and 2 to okay and move Jackie Brown to bad.
Fuck
was Jackie
Can-
Brown bad?
Can
No,
do.
he's just being a cunt. Fuck you both. Fuck all of you.
No,
Well, I'm just saying it because we all we all had a very similar
God, fuck off.
we all had a very similar
God.
reaction to rewatching Kill Bill, that it was like not as good as we remembered it being.
Yes.
Mm.
Like we all kind of came away with that interpretation. So I can
mean,
kind of understand us saying that it was okay rather
here's
than
the thing.
good or
I feel like
great.
Came to that conclusion after watching the first half. You know what I mean?
Yes,
No,
exactly.
I
I do
felt
remember
pretty much the same
watching the
after
second
2.
half. I
No,
remember
the second half was better. Like this
Only
is
because
this
of that one
it's-
fucking scene.
It's more comparative.
Maybe.
It's like that feeling of it not being quite as good as we remember. That was much stronger in part 1.
No, dude, I'm telling you, the only reason you think part 2 is so much better is because of the Bill scene. Everything else in part 2 is fucking AIDS.
Well, what about the other Bill scene? Like, remember,
No.
there's 2 Bill
There-
scenes in that movie.
Okay, the whole trailer fight is retarded. The whole thing with the trailer
Yeah, the
and
tra-
Bill,
yeah,
all
alright,
that is
alright.
The
dumb.
trailer, it was funny, but goddamn was it stupid.
And
The
and
fucking
then
Texas funeral and Pai Mei, all that stuff was dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
Like-
it's a
Okay,
it does give a little bit plot
Right.
armor for the fucking Texas burial thing.
Yeah.
Move that shit back. Move that shit to
Right. Jackie Brown comes back up to bad, I guess.
no.
Well,
So-
is
It
Jackie
wasn't
Brown on the
bad.
same?
That's the thing.
Is it
Okay.
on the same level as Kill Bill?
Narratively, like both parts with all the bullshit that's in Kill Bill, probably.
Okay.
Like that's the
Ninja?
thing is that like yes.
mean-
You know what? If Jackie Brown goes to garbage, but Kill Bill gets dragged down with it, that's fine by me.
I love the idea that Jackie
He's
Brown's
like,
just
I will
holding.
take that L.
I'll take the L.
No. So
No,
we'll just put it
seriously,
off.
put them both. Put them
No,
both
I'm putting
in.
them-
Okay. Are you putting them all in good?
Well, I'm
fuck.
putting them back in. Hold on. No, I'm putting them back
Right.
in their original spots before we did all that memeing stuff.
Okay.
So
Memes aside, I think the consensus we're coming to kind of is that all 3 should be an okay.
Yes.
I
Tom,
would be
do you-
willing to compromise on.
Tom, what do you feel about the Kill Bills going to okay?
I'm fine with them being okay. The more I think about it, I was thinking good, but I'm fine with them being
would-
okay.
I
Yeah,
almost
like, I remember
I
the
think-
fucking plot armor in that movie, and it's like, yeah, it is
I
kind of
was-
infuriating.
I was about to
Sure,
ask
sure.
if Tom and I if we could strong arm it to stay in good, but if we're
I-
gonna lose that fight.
We'd be here forever, so
Also, I think Ninja kind of nailed you by pointing out it's like there's a couple of like really good scenes that elevate it, but like
Yeah,
the more you remember the rest of the movie,
Yeah,
the harder
so
time you have.
Everything that gets you to that really awesome scene.
remember
dumb.
that?
Yeah,
Remember when
I'm-
she went to go visit that Spaniard and wherever the fuck she was?
Yeah.
yeah, it puts it in perfect,
No.
obviously.
And like
I-
in Kill Bill 1, because we got the Hateful Eight fucking fight, but
Hateful Eight.
there is
Hateful 88.
there is that fight towards the beginning, which is really good, between her and Black Mom. No, she was Black Mamba.
Go
Who was
go.
the other
Wow, racist.
Go,
Copperhead.
you're talking-
Copperhead.
Wow.
chick?
Yeah, you're
But,
talking
then,
about.
Copperhead.
but hang on, that's also a great scene, but it's also retarded as well.
Are you talking about the fight with
'cause-
Go Go?
No.
I'm talking about
Copperhead.
the black chick at the very beginning. Of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Vanita
sorry.
Green.
Vivica Fox.
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck? This is-
That was her name.
That's
that was her name? Really?
Yeah, Vanita Green.
Fuck.
AKA
Copperhead.
Copperhead, played by Vivica Fox.
Fair enough.
Who
But
would
yeah, I feel like
hang
that was a
out-
good scene, but it also
can?
ended very stupidly.
Yes.
So, and like that's not only like a plot armor, but it's also.
Well, it's like we said, there were really high highs and
Really
incredibly
low.
low lows.
That's why I was willing to put it in bad because of how because I feel like that movie has like significant plot armor in it. You know what I mean? And we all fucking hate plot armor.
Yeah, we did a whole Y.A.R.P
And yet we
studies on
also really love good character work.
That's true.
There,
See-
that's the thing, and you can say it's like style
That's
over
true.
substance,
Let-
but there are just so many satisfying moments in those two movies.
So let's
I-
meet in the middle and put it in okay.
Yeah,
fair.
that
I'll-
seems
I'll
like the
accept
best
that.
thing to
it.
do.
All right.
Just do it.
Do it. Hey man.
There we go.
So what are we at?
I've always like preferred volume 2 less to volume 1.
I actually want you to put fucking Jackie Brown in between
Fun.
both parts.
Like even like years ago when I first saw it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just
The middle,
makes
most my
me feel
favorite.
Man,
Yeah.
that fucking Kill Bill movie is really weird, especially in the middle part where it's about fucking drug dealers and shit.
Watching Kill Bill when they randomly played Jackie Brown.
That's the intermission. The intermission's 2 hours long and it's Jackie Brown.
I mean, he had to get the people to see it somehow.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
you remember that part in Kill
That's
Bill
proof.
where Debo showed up? It was great.
That big gorilla looking motherfucker ain't there, is he?
All right.
He really was
it's,
just typecast as big man.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
anyway,
Death
what was
Proof.
next?
I think it's
Ah, fucking, I will argue for awful, but let's hear it.
Yes.
It's just such a fucking strange movie that I almost give it like
Excellent.
extra affection points
So
out
you
of
guys keep-
that alone. But that's not an argument. That's not a point. That's not actually a thing that makes it any better than anything. It's just me and my fucking sensibilities. I
Yeah.
love how fucking bizarre it is. But
Tom, what were you about to say?
that's not a compliment. It shouldn't be bizarre. It should probably make fucking sense because it's a story.
Especially
Tom, what were you
since.
gonna
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Tom, you there?
Hmm?
Hello.
Hmm? Is it me you're looking for?
This is ground control to
What?
Major Tom. Please speak the fuck up. Yeah,
Major
you
Tom.
were about to
I am.
say something before Slur said something. I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
You're like,
I'm-
I think you're
Yeah,
breaking up.
I'm breaking up like fucking crazy, which is why I left the call earlier. My
Oh,
internet
okay.
just suddenly committed Sudoku,
Oh no.
and like every now and again while you were talking, like every 5 seconds, you were just cutting in and out. And I'm
Oh,
pretty
shit.
sure
Shit,
it's
committed math puzzles.
I'm pretty sure it's me.
It'd be
Yeah.
like that sometimes. I get that as well.
I never got that. My internet's been spick
That's
span
because you-
perfect.
Wow.
Well, you can't
really?
just say
wow.
spick like that.
Wow. What is this, Jackie Brown?
Susan,
It's
we're
just okay.
sorry. He's
Yeah,
in
it's okay.
Europe.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, you guys are okay now, but I'm worried.
All right, pressing on.
Okay, so what were you gonna say about Death Proof, Tom?
Oh, just that it should be exactly where it is on the tier list.
God damn it. All right, Wyatt, what were you
So-
gonna say?
So the thing I was going to say was, as much as I kind of dig the vibe of the first like half of the movie and like the struggle of stuntman Mike seeing like his process, unfortunately, as enjoyable as that second half is, it makes no fucking sense because it's just almost like a completely different movie. Kurt Russell doesn't he doesn't follow the same path as he was. Like I think we only see him stalk the girls only for a minute. He takes
Oh,
pictures
you
of them.
fuckers missed it entirely.
Well, yeah, remember there
I
was
had
that
to
whole
point it
diner
out
thing
to
that
you.
No,
he talked
yeah,
about.
I'm trying to use that. He takes the pictures, and then you pointed out how he's in the diner with them. But other than that, not. Oh, and of course he almost licks Rosario Dawson's foot.
No, he does.
Second
He
hand
does,
licks
yeah.
it. Wait, does he lick it? Lick it?
Yeah,
Or does
he
get
does.
licked-
I
does he lick
okay,
his
He
I
foot?
wasn't crazy.
He gets a taste.
I wasn't
Okay,
crazy.
yeah,
I kept
fucking- I
telling
don't
you
remember
guys
that
like
at
he
all.
made contact, and somebody kept saying like he doesn't.
No, he did.
Honestly, the two things that really bring are the sort of the ending and the whole them leaving their friend behind is like really, really fucked.
Yeesh.
That was
Like-
yeah.
That is insane from a
Where
point.
she's hung over.
That was
fucking
not good.
Yeah,
passing out.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's
us
fucking
talking
right.
about that actually, and like we did go into like the kind of just off the cuff joke that it was trying to be, but just thinking about it for literally more than a second just makes it really fucking skeevy.
I would honestly, as much as I don't particularly care for Jackie Brown, I would put this in either bad or awful.
Yeah, I was about to say if you
It's
put this,
one of
this
my
is-
least favorite Tarantino movies.
Yeah, I was about to say this definitely is. I would
I
definitely
don't know-
put this under
I
Kill
don't-
Bill and Jackie Brown.
I don't know if
easily.
I'd put it in awful. I think I would compromise and put bad because
Yeah.
awful.
What was good about? Oh, tell me
Well,
what was good about it though. Like
It's not about
the
okay, I can kind of
Bring-
argue for this. I don't know if White has a different thing in mind, probably. But my thing is like I can absolutely and readily acknowledge that this is a bad movie. But I do still think that it's worth seeing almost just for the weird factor. Like
Fair.
it's bad. A lot of it doesn't make sense and some of it is kind of
Chartreuse!
Also, yes.
Okay, hold
But-
on. I'm gonna explain. I'll call you. Go ahead, sir. Sorry, I was almost interrupted you for a bullshit thing.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that it is a bad movie. It is an entertaining movie, especially if you're watching with people.
That's fair. I can
I-
agree with that. That's fair.
Well, I was gonna say like the whole. I feel like that first half would only be that stops it from being an awful. I don't.
I
was
will,
on-
I will definitely say the first half is better than the second half, but I don't think there's anything really that happens in the first half that puts it out of awful territory. Like, what is the thing from the first half that you're clinging to?
Just him. Okay, so how he did his process, we saw the motivation. Well, not necessarily the motivation, but we saw more into the headspace. How you brought up in the episode, how he would bring up he was stuntman for certain TV shows, and they just had no response to it. And
Well, yeah, because he was hanging out with a bunch of fucking kids.
right,
They kind of do the same thing in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Remember when it's like they're in the hippies are all in the car and they're like, that was Rick Dalton, and she's like, who
Mhm.
the fuck is Rick Dalton? It's like it's the same thing. It's talking about how the younger has no knowledge of all that shit that came before. No matter how big and popular you were, or how big and popular that TV show or movie you were in was, 20, 30 years down the line, it doesn't fucking matter.
right. And I was about to ask after before that, where would we define the difference between bad and awful?
I would say awful is something I literally just wouldn't recommend that you watch, whereas bad is something I can acknowledge is incredibly flawed, not very well put together, but I can still think of reasons why you would watch this.
Yeah.
I
let's-
see, and I guess my thing is like I'm getting kind of looking at okay as like the midpoint, but at the same time, it's like you ask what's the difference between bad and awful. What's the difference between awful and horrible, or
Yeah.
horrible and garbage? You know what I mean? Like you have to take that into account. Just because you're
Yeah.
saying it's awful doesn't mean you wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's just you are acknowledging this is an awful movie, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah, but like, what would you? Because you wouldn't say The Room is bad. You would say it's. I would say
The Room is garbage.
The room
But, like-
is garbage, but,
but
Yeah,
it's
the
probably
Room is
very,
literally
uh,
garbage.
But it's probably the most entertaining movie like ever made. So it's
But, okay,
weird to
taking
say.
the taking entertainment factor out of it and just looking at movies, The Room is still significantly worse than Death Proof.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
that's why I was almost about to say, like, I was about to ask, like, are horrible and garbage not even going to be used here? Because that
Yeah, I
might
feel
be
like those are
fucking with
too
our
like
rating
low.
systems.
I feel like that's too
Well,
low. Just remove them because like bad is
Can
bad
you?
but watchable.
Oh,
Awful is just don't
I
even
need to
fucking
stop
bother.
touching things. I'm not going to do that.
You just leave it alone. That's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
We
just
can
leave it
still
alone.
leave them on
Yeah,
the.
so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
awful is our bottom last tier list that we would say like just don't even fucking bother. But bad is
Well,
objectively
okay,
bad.
but
Don't
let me
fucking
ask you this: create a sort of spectrum here.
okay.
Is there anything that we think is lower on the list than Death Proof?
I don't think so.
I
Because
doubt it.
I
No.
highly looking at the choices that we have at the bottom, I really don't. So I can kind of understand putting it at the bottom. Like literally as sort of like, okay, you've got the bookend of Reservoir Dogs at the top, and you've got Death Proof at the very bottom, and then everything else kind of falls in between those 2 points.
Fair enough. I was more just asking mainly because in the context of like, oh, could we have given them an even worse rating? Because you want to put it in awful. I could have like I could bet
Well,
you somebody
the
would want to
reason I
put it in
usually
horrible.
give 2 different, like I'll say bad or awful or good or okay, is because I'm willing to be persuaded either way. I'm kind of opening up the floor to like people to defend it or or not. But I just if it's going to be the opposing bookend, I don't see a problem with putting it at the lowest tier that we're actually going to use, because we've already
Mhm.
basically said we're not using horrible and we're not, because none of the remaining choices fall into that category.
Yeah, but I
But
feel
I
like
would be comfortable saying Death Proof is an awful movie. I still recommend it. Like,
yeah,
you should still watch it, but it is awful.
so I feel like we should just cut out the bottom two. Awful should still be up there, but I feel like awful should be reserved for please don't watch this movie. Whereas bad is where we put Death Proof, which is it's a bad movie, but it has merit.
But why have a tier on the list you're not going to use
Well, I
at
mean,
all?
like that's just how it
I
is.
still
Like,
think you're
there's
gonna
no.
get that if you put that in awful. If you put it in awful, I don't think there's anything else that's.
Well, but
Eh.
we're talking about cutting out horrible and garbage.
But like awful would
Cut it out.
I'm saying if it existed, but like so we're saying is we would recommend all of the movies, but just know this movie is bad. There isn't a movie we'd recommend that's just like unwatchable.
So why not take awful, horrible, and garbage off the list and just have
Because
bad?
bad is green and awful is blue.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's a color thing. You racist.
Even though I can't tell them apart. All right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ninja. Like so, yeah. But just for the record, just bad is just the bottom of the list. The other three don't exist.
That's fine. We'll just leave it where it's at. It's the only one that really hits the bad. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
if
It's
there
the
was
close.
one on this list that I would say proof.
Yeah, that's fair. So, the next one,
Inglorious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. So we all kind of agree that this movie is pretty fucking amazing. However, Ninja had to leave for other reasons, but he didn't get a chance to say what he wanted to say. Ninja, what do you think about Inglourious Bastards?
I like it. I don't think it's a perfect film by
You
any
wouldn't
means.
you wouldn't put it with Reservoir Dogs.
Fuck no.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of issues with the story. I think almost the entirety of the she keeps changing her name, but Shoshana, basically all of that kind of like her and the theater and all that. I really don't care. I want to see the fucking bastards. You know what I mean? And it feels like every time she's on the screen, she's taking significant amounts of time away from that group, to the point where we even kind of pointed out like their storyline skips a lot. Like it kind of jumps from like, okay, we've got this mission, we're going to send the what did we say, like 3 months or 6 months or almost a year by.
Yeah, there was this.
I don't even
significant
think
time jump.
I don't even think we actually even got. I don't think we even agreed on the time scale on
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, but like certain bastards are just literally not even there anymore.
Oh yeah, there was the one we mentioned in the like we had that whole discussion of the one in the vet's office that just
And then
disappears.
there's the issue with like the bar scene, and like where like, yeah, that's a cool scene in isolation, but when you put it into the rest of the narrative, it's like that was really fucking stupid. Because they even have the whole moment before that scene where they're like, it's a fucking basement. We shouldn't go into a fucking basement.
Yeah, the mission.
So it's like
in
they
all
knew that
reality
was fucking stupid, and they still did it anyway, and it went exactly like they thought. And Max brought up how they send in the most famous motherfucker to do espionage amongst people who are highly likely to.
Yeah, it's weird. Wasn't the reason because he was one of the only German speakers they had. Like, regardless of the
But
reason,
that
it was
does not
stupid.
outweigh
No,
the
yeah.
fact that he
No,
is
yeah,
the number one most recognizable. There's even a
Yes.
line, remember, where there's like everyone in the German army goes Stieglitz.
Yeah, that's why I was agreeing with you. It is stupid. Like, even if he is one of the only German speakers,
And you
he
only
just
really
doesn't
need
show
one
up.
German speaker. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a
Well-
bunch if you need one primary interpreter.
Well, in all
Fine.
reality, the basement thing was stupid. They should have canceled that. The second that they realized the bar was for all Germans, they should have gotten their drinks and then gotten the fuck out and just be like, all right, we'll figure this out another time. But we're putting ourselves in too much risk here.
Well, there is like the spy factor where they have to kind of like, there has to be some subtlety to what they're doing. There is the point of if they don't have another German speaker in their crew, he needs to be able to pay attention to the conversation and at least engage because it's supposed to maintain cover. So it
Right.
wouldn't make sense.
But keep in mind, the bastards themselves are not specifically spies. It's really just the lieutenant is trained in spycraft. That's not their area of expertise.
I kind of was getting a little bit frustrated. What was the actress's name?
Bridget von Hammerschmark.
Hammerschmark, man, there were plenty of opportunities to actually get out of there, and she just kept indulging in everyone trying to have a conversation with her.
What do you mean?
So there's the soldiers that she was playing the games with. Then when she moved over, the soldiers keep trying to interrupt their conversation.
Well, they can't
because she's trying not to be rude.
She's trying to keep cover. She's just having a good time with them. She shouldn't be like fuck off. So she was like looking for a way to do it, and what's his name took the initiative.
Right.
Michael Fassbender. Was his name John?
It was Lieutenant something. I forget his
I
name.
think it was John, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It's just Michael Fassbender. He went back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, I thought there was a couple issues with it, but I feel like I could be rational out of them just because of like the Hugo Stiglitz thing. It's like it's weird. It's like being in the same scenario without Hugo and having a guy who doesn't understand German could be just as bad.
I mean, why did there need to specifically be 3 people? There could have been
because
2.
they would have to go with her to get the tailored suits. That was the whole
Well,
plan.
but it's not the German speakers who fuck up the plan. It's the Brit.
Yeah, that's true.
So having another person there instead of Hugo who didn't speak German wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah,
the Brit still would have fucked it up.
Yeah, you could have just played off of it and shit like that. So, yeah, I guess I don't know. Well, yeah, like I said, it's a lot. There's a million different fucking ways that could have gone. So,
did we say it was an actual flaw or not? That the fact that the spy would have recognized the 3, like how you order 3 drinks.
Oh, him doing the German 3 and a thing. Like, yeah, I thought we covered that. It's not that big of a deal. Like, how often do you see people hold up their fingers in movies?
Fair enough. I was just double checking.
Yeah, and like the whole point was, what's his fucking SS boy was holding them in a very high stressful situations. Remember, every time he touched Hugo, he basically hit him to like aggravate him.
Yeah, and
he's like, "Who's next?" And he smacks fucking Hugo really fucking hard. You can hear his like metals smack when he does that.
Yeah, and then there's like the cut back to the whipping, which makes me honestly think that SS guy was the one who did the whipping. That might be a headcanon.
And no, it didn't even have to be. But the thing is, the SS guy knew who he was, so he knew he was fucking.
Yeah.
Him.
So I think with all of that, I might be persuaded to either put it in as my mouse just fucked up, either good or okay.
I would put it in possibly great. There are some issues, but I feel like they don't really hold
Yeah.
it down that much.
Even with all of that, I'm still between like great and awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I still think it is an incredible movie.
Yeah, we've only really like gone over just that one scene.
Yeah, I really can't think of like much else.
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's
I
fair.
mean,
Yeah,
He carries that fucking movie. Beerstein? Okay.
that's a bingo.
Dude,
Oh.
dude, it's the laugh, dude. That's the best fucking part. It's...
yeah.
That's
Alright,
a
alright.
bingo.
All right, they're gonna lie to me because obviously they can't say they were at a fucking thing and get shit out. So what is she gonna say? She get tripped. She gonna fucking mountain climbing? Oh my fucking god!
This bitch.
This bitch! I
Any-
can't
So
believe it.
between the fact that like even if there are issues with that scene and like some of the decisions that get made, and with how much screen time is taken up by her, everything about the script and how much character we get for everybody and the way it all kind of accumulates, I still think it's worthy of awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that first fucking scene, holy
The
shit.
first- Yeah,
Perfect.
fucking.
I mean that first scene is fucking perfect outright. on its
Literally, even down to the music from the beginning and the ending is fucking just mwah, beautiful.
I was about to say like during the scene, like the lack of music.
Yes.
Just
And
the tension, the dialogue, holy shit, it's
Hey,
amazing.
He's
You
so
mind if
charming,
I-
but like so fucking insidious. Yeah, put in awesome. Fuck it.
Mind
I
if
will,
I pull?
I will, because like I always argue, I don't know which I like better, Pulp Fiction or fucking Inglourious Bastards.
It's got to be an awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Inglourious Bastards more than I like Pulp Fiction.
that's fair.
So I mean, for me, it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, next
Jan-
one, Django.
Django.
Yeah, Django
You
came out
fuck out
for-
of here with your fucking hot takes, Jesus. First
I would.
coleslaw, now this.
Django is not as good as not as good as Inglorious Bastards.
It is not.
I know. If
Inglourious
I'd
Basterds.
probably put it in awesome as well.
I put it in good.
No.
I put in
It's-
great.
I
it's-
would put it in.
Good or
Well,
okay?
After we
Fucking fight me.
Well,
Well,
yeah, that's good. What's going to have to happen because everyone disagrees with you.
Well, no, I put it in great. I put it under fucking Glorious and Pulp
yeah, I put it in great after we watched it.
because the thing
It's got
is,
that massive fucking plot hole.
yeah, that's the problem. Is that like it's got a fucking major plot hole. I still enjoy the movie, but you can't.
I don't think it's great though.
Yeah,
For
that's
that
what I'm
very
saying.
reason.
Yeah.
Like
Well, then-
everything
then-
that happens
then-
after that fuck is just fucking terrible. Like
But
it
the
doesn't
prob-
make any fucking sense.
But I still enjoy everything that happens up to that point. So it's hard for me to like be 100% objective whether or not. to
Well,
move it
I was.
lower.
Well, I was going to
'Cause
argue
once
how
again,
much.
Christoph Waltz kind of carries the fucking movie.
Well, no, that's the kind of the argument that where we kind of have with Inglourious Bastards. How much does this one fuck up damage a film?
Yeah, but the problem is like I could see somebody coming to a logical conclusion of using Hugo Stiglitz. I can't come to a logical decision of why he didn't shoot his second shot. You know what I mean?
But
like,
yeah, but why
Well,
does that,
and
why
I would
does that stay
argue
in great
that
instead of knocking it down to okay?
Since I'm kind of the counterpoint here, I would argue that Inglorious Bastards has much higher highs than Django does.
it has higher
By
lows. as well.
fucking far.
It has very higher lows. 'Cause
I
remember-
disagree. Django is really not as good as people think it is, dude.
No, that's
The
no,
fucking
that's
thing with the
no, no, no.
horse.
No,
like,
no. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that Inglourious Bastards, its lows are way higher than Django's
Oh,
lows. because
yes.
Django's lows are character assassinations, and they
well, character
suck.
assassination and like the fucking just I don't know cringy shit, like with the horse doing the weird steppy thing.
It's whatever. The
What?
fucking
That's
remember,
pretty fucking cringe, dude.
What?
But like we've already established that the fucking horses were trained to do shit. Remember, every time I'm Dr. Schultz, this is my horse Fritz, and it would always neigh and bow its head.
Yeah, but not fucking dancing and donuts. Like that's I don't know. That's fucking cringe to me.
I don't know. I don't know enough about horseplay to know how fucking retarded.
You can definitely train a horse.
Horseplay.
horseplay.com.
I mean, you can
something
train
else.
them, but not like I guarantee you nobody did. You know what I mean? Like that's some cringy shit.
well, remember
Wait.
he had that horse the entire time they were bounty hunting.
And also,
Okay.
did you really just argue that no one would train their horse during that time? Because
Nobody would train their horse to do some bullshit. That I guarantee you that was a Jamie fucking Foxx. He's like, oh, we should put in some cool modern shit, put some rap music behind it. Fuck out of here, dude.
Didn't have rap music.
This is
behind it.
not the hill you want to die on.
Are you talking about when it has the Rick Ross part way earlier?
Hold
At
on.
the very end, when he's like, they're getting ready to leave. The horse is like doing this little dance, and he like does donuts on the horse for no fucking
Yeah,
reason.
but you said there was rap music over that. There wasn't rap music over that scene.
No, I'm saying it's a Jamie Foxxism. First place.
I don't know if that's true. Was it?
I'm guessing. It's inferring based on everything that's me.
So I thought you were talking about Christoph Waltz's horse this entire time.
No,
No.
he's talking about the
very end
Tony.
of the movie.
Tony's Django's horse. These are our horses, Tony and Fritz. Bow.
I thought you were hung up on that.
Yeah, I just don't see Christoph Waltz. Presumably, he's the one who trained the horses. I don't see him training his horse to do that. Sorry, I don't.
I don't know if that's necessarily like one of the biggest flaws, though. Like,
It's
there's a lot
not.
of
I'm just saying that there are low fucking lows in Django. On top of character assassinations, there's a lot of other shit that just doesn't make any fucking sense. And don't get me wrong, there are some legitimately high highs in Django. Everything with Christoph Waltz, I love. Everything with Leonardo and Candy, I really do love. But I don't think the movie's as good as people give it credit for. Like,
That's
those
fair.
couple of scenes definitely elevate it above being like garbage tier or awful tier, but I don't think it deserves to be that much higher than Kill Bill. I would much rather watch Kill Bill than Django. I think it's a
Yeah.
stronger narrative. Like, it's better than the narrative. Because what is Django trying to say? We don't fucking know.
Well, there's also the issue of plot armor as well in Django.
Agreed. So that's why I'm saying good or maybe okay. Like, I could see it kind of ending on the same.
The shit.
What the?
You unpause the commercial.
I didn't.
That was cringe.
I wasn't
No,
doing anything. My
Yeah,
hands
he
were actually
didn't.
on
Just
my.
The ad was like, "You've been here for a minute." What the
This
fuck?
tent motherfucker has some opinions.
I know, but like I looked over at a glance really quick, and it did not look like a tent.
So
Oh no.
what's funny is the
Like,
fact I
it was
have.
like,
boys.
What's
Your
funny is
orgasm.
the audience will not understand what the hell just happened because I have my speakers like them hearing the computer. They didn't hear that, so we just randomly went, "What the fuck?"
That's
I
okay,
would-
audience. We heard it and it was cringe.
Ninja's talking me into it. I would put it down to good. Does anybody have any objections?
I'm willing to settle on good. Like, all the things that made this movie extremely popular when it came out, it's a lot of surface level cool factor for the violence.
Mhm.
Very little to do with the actual story.
I think most of the story is pretty free, honestly.
Mm.
Like, compared to these other ones. Like, again, if you compared this to like most out there, Django blows them out of the fucking water. But when you're
Yeah.
comparing it to like Quentin Tarantino movies, it's like, dude, I have higher expectations than this.
Yeah, but I feel like the character work is better than Kill Bill. That's my thing.
I-
It's
I-
weird. Because up until a point, because like his thing, like the more we talk about it, the more it does bother me.
And that's the
think-
issue, because like I would say the strong.
You keep breaking out.
But
Say it again.
so the strongest character is Christoph,
Yes,
but
without a doubt.
he's also the one who gets fucking assassinated. It's like,
yeah, that's
oh
why
shit.
that's why I'm conflicted, because of like he is the best character hands down, but he also does the dumbest thing, and it's really out of character for him because he's the smartest character in the fucking show.
The
And then-
only other character who comes close is Leo.
I
But
think
that's it.
There is a very big gap between their fucking intelligences
And
whatever,
also-
brains.
also their plan is really. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like their plan because
The
it's like-
plan is fine. That's the thing.
No,
Him
they
going
could-
in pretending. No, here's the thing. Him like dangling a carrot, saying, "I'll buy a fucking Mandingo fighter for you for $12,000," is a very enticing thing. And then while we're all buddy, hey, by the way, you got that German girl? She ran away. She's kind of useless to you, and it's really nice for me to talk to German girls. And like, yeah, sure, why not? We're in business together. That's something I can totally buy as a scenario. Like the plan's fine. It's
I
what
guess
happens after the plan falls through, which isn't necessarily their fault. It's what happens it's the whole thing after it all falls apart.
well, I guess the question that I think if we brought this up in the episode, why couldn't they just go, "Oh, I'm willing to just like do the pay an extraordinary amount of money, but specifically for Hildy." They could have just been,
Well,
"All
because
right, here's
they
5,000."
weren't gonna. Yeah, but the thing is, they weren't gonna pay a significant amount of money. That was the whole point. Because remember, that significant amount of money was a shitload of money.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
fucking,
they were gonna basically write him a bill of sale that meant not shit.
yeah,
Like they
they were
weren't actually gonna money was not gonna change hands.
Yeah, what they were gonna spend for Hildy was maybe like a couple $1,000s in like IRL bucks nowadays. But what they were gonna pay for the fighter was fucking massive.
I guess what's really
Let me look it up because what did they say? They said 11,000 or 12,000.
it was 12,000, which equals almost a $500,000. We did that conversion during the episode.
We did it for even if it was still for the Hateful Eight, which is way after Django. That's still a shit ton of money.
Right. Fair enough.
Like, what would you rather pay? $200 or $500,000? It's not something you like really think about.
Right. I guess in my head, I'm just going, why didn't they just fucking buy her at the end of the day? Like, and just then
They were
give her
about to. That was the whole thing. They almost had it. That was the whole ruse. The ruse was at 99% successful. That was the whole thing. They were literally 2 seconds away from signing Hildy over. So that's the thing. The plan almost fucking worked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that the argument that typically gets made is like, why didn't they just ask to buy her outright?
That's what I'm getting at.
And there is a line of dialogue in the movie that tries to address it. I just don't know if it goes far enough.
The problem is it's the risk of not being able to buy the so the analogy is buying asking to buy a horse and the guy just tells you to fuck off. So like now you come back, it's like I really want this horse. And you understand? I really want this horse. And
it's also just more suspicious. Like buying a fighter it's a transaction that's normal. It's something that Candy would understand. It's something he's done before. Mm-hmm. Whereas like a stranger coming up to his house and asking to buy specifically one of his house ninjas, like that raises an eyebrow. And because he's such a sadistic
they have
fuck.
An answer to that question. Like if he was like, well, why do you want her? They have an answer to that question. Well, she speaks German. They could even say it's his wife or it's his girl. Like, why do they assume that he's just immediately going to be a fucking colossal twat waffle about it?
Because they know him by reputation.
I was going to say that was
as a colossal twat.
As a colossal twat. Ain't no ninja who never heard about Candyland. It's right next to the Konoha.
Also, it just draws attention to it in a way they really don't want.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because their plan worked out so much.
It almost did.
It didn't work out much better, but in conception, it basically just you're buying the car to get the thing that's inside the glove box.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, saying you're going to buy the car, and it's like, well, let me take it for a test drive for like fucking 5 minutes. You come bring the car back, it's like, yeah, but the thing in the glove box is gone. They don't realize it, and you're fucking long gone by the time they figure it out. That was the whole point. Like they were never going to come back for the fighter. They were just going to dip the fuck out.
Either way, you never tip off that the thing in the glove box is the thing that's important.
Exactly. I forgot what that's called. Misdirection in business or whatever. If there's actually a fucking marketing term or some shit for it.
Yeah,
but anyway.
It's normally
marketing people are psychopaths.
Yes. They're Francophiles who don't speak French. Anyway, let's move on. What's next is Hateful Eight. So, how do we feel? I'm leaning to perfect.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say awesome.
I don't know if it's quite as tight as Reservoir Dogs, but I would be comfortable putting it in either awesome or great.
Same.
Because I really think it stands up there. It's a really great one. Mm-hmm. I just think that while with Reservoir Dogs we couldn't find any issues whatsoever, I think there were one or two things about Hateful Eight that we were like, eh.
I feel, you know what's weird? I feel like if we didn't watch the extended edition, I feel like we
I
could
was
have
about to say that exact thing. I
I feel
think
like we would have
whatever
liked
we
it
put
might have been
Hateful Eight in.
perfect.
So hold
No,
on.
I think it's like whatever we put Hateful Eight in, the extended cut should be in the next run down.
Yes, I was literally about to say that extended cut goes in. I would honestly put extended cut because the those
I don't
extra.
think it was-
There's
those-
some good
those
things in
extra
the
minutes-
extended cut, though. That's the problem.
I
Like,
wouldn't put it. I
most of
wouldn't
it
put
was
it
just
2 rows down.
unnecessary.
So
Yeah.
so I was going to like on a subjective note. That's my take because like those extra cuts feel like other than one, they feel like massive time wasters. And with movies, I don't like having my time wasted. So
Well, they weren't. I wouldn't say they were time wasting though. That's the thing. Like the talk between the general and Chris Mannix, I really enjoyed. The extended bit with between see, like it's weird thinking back on it. The extended bit between Kurt Russell and Samuel Jackson talking about their horse, like not the horse. It was the extended cut of them talking about Chris Mannix walking up, like where they were like, it seems like there's a lot of fellows out here in a blizzard.
But does that
Considering
outweigh
that I am one of them
what-
fellas, yeah, I guess so.
I'm trying to think. So, do you still have that list?
I don't, unfortunately.
'Cause
I remember it pretty significantly though. It was it's them talking about the horse because Sam Jackson just talked about his horse and that was the end of it. But Kurt Russell talking about his horse back to him, that was extended. Wasn't really necessary. There was a little bit of extra dialogue when Sam was first interrogated. It added a little bit more context to OB. I feel like that could have been cut because it made OB like a little bit less cool. The whole point I thought with OB was that he was like the only good person in the entire fucking I said cottage. It's a haberdashery, but it felt like he was the only good character, and like that little extended scene made it seem like he was a little bit more of a cunt than he actually was.
Right, and I guess what I definitely point to time waster was Kurt Russell peeing like that.
Yeah, Kurt Russell
like
peeing was pretty stupid.
Oh, and watching what's
So
her
you're
face
one.
pee.
Yeah, she pisses as well.
Yeah, she peed
Yeah.
too.
That's kind of why. That's why
Fuck it. Why doesn't everybody have a piss?
Yeah,
that's why I
Because
labeled him
someone
as.
poisoned the coffee.
That's why
You- didn't say shit.
that's why I labeled it as a time waster. And
Fucking
that,
awesome.
My daddy led an army. Anyway, fucking okay. Christoph Waltz gets mentioned. Walter Goggins gets fucking mentioned. God damn it.
God
Yeah,
damn it, yes he does. What a
yeah, we
fucking
met-
dad.
We
I
mentioned it
never
in the
thought
last-
like JoJo made me love a Nazi and fucking Hateful Eight made me love a fucking Confederate soldier.
That's my thing is like, okay, so like if you want to the fact that a Confederate rebel good old boy soldier
Full
and
on
a
racist,
fucking-
by the way.
yeah, full on racist by
and
the way.
Marauder
With
he
a
fought
hard
after the
R.
war.
And fucking Samuel L. Jackson
Racist?
team up and become like act like genuinely, comrades in this fucking movie.
They
It's
become
pretty
like
fucking satisfying.
they
Yeah.
become a buddy cop duo. It's great.
Yeah, it's fucking great, and I feel like that alone is more satisfying than anything.
So you starting to believe that the story about the sheriff? Well, I don't know about all that, but I know you ain't the
Bullshit.
fool.
No,
I don't know.
no.
You know you ain't the one who poisoned that coffee because you damn near drunk it yourself.
no deal.
And
bitch.
and you, Joe Gage, are an ugly son of a bitch.
Well, we go by my theory, which is
It's
the
the
ugliest
ugliest.
the guy did it. Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at you, Joe Gage.
Joe Gage.
I ain't got.
And
I
like,
love
they're
the
really,
in slow motion. I ain't got no gun.
ain't got no gun, Sheriff.
Turns around.
and like there really isn't anything more satisfying than calling Bob out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
early in the barn, I said that didn't sound like Minnie, but when you said that Minnie left her haberdashery, the only thing she loved in this world, to a damn Mexican, well, that's what I meant when I said I find that hard to believe. God, it's so
Man,
good.
what-
Call me a liar,
And-
cabrón?
No, it's like,
Okay,
and then at when he finishes that, it's like, so yes, now I'm calling you a liar.
Now-
I'm just
I'm
impressed Bob was able to act the entire movie without.
Yeah,
You could
his eyes were closed
Without
the
opening his
entire
eyes.
goddamn time.
you could say he could do the whole movie blindfolded.
Hey!
So,
That sounds a
to
whole
bring
lot
us,
like you're calling me a blind man, amigo.
All right,
To
so
rein us
to-
back in a little bit. We
Little bit.
had our little issues here and there, specifically with the extended cut, because we thought some things might not be necessary. Some things we thought we could kind of like argue one way or the other. But overall, just like the base movie, is anybody making a serious argument for anything less than awesome?
I will fight you.
I would say extended cut gets put in great. The original gets put in awesome. That's my take.
Is there anything that argues it up to perfect, maybe?
The extended cut. Here's
Yeah,
the thing. The extended
they
cut,
are-
I feel like, brings it down from awesome because there's just a lot of bullshit in it.
Like you said,
but
time
here's
waster.
the thing. But like, so Wyatt, take yourself out and remove time waster as a con. What can you think is a con of this movie? That's the thing. Like, time wasting, I feel like is very subjective.
That's true because
Yeah, I don't really
somebody
think
can
there was anything in the extended edition brought it down. Like you could say there were several extra scenes that really add to it. Like there were a couple that did, and those were great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there was anything that was like, ew, that makes the movie worse by that being there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah.
just kind of like neutral. Like they didn't add, they didn't detract. They were just there.
And
It was a
oddly
little bit of fat that didn't get trimmed.
Sure.
And oddly enough, like the base movie did have your quote unquote time wasters. Like seeing Chris Mannix and OB fucking struggle for literally 2 minutes with the fucking stakes. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
in
kind
the
of-
original movie.
Yeah, that's kind of why on first watch I didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Because
But the thing
I remember
is,
I was
like-
advertised a completely different movie, and so it's like, oh, what is
But the problem
this?
is, like, that's not necessarily a flaw, though. I will 100% admit that you could find that, like, not likable, personally, but you'd have to tell me why it's a problem. And I don't think it is.
It's not a
It's
problem.
like you can
it's
criticize the marketing to hell and back, and you'd be entirely justified. I think the entire movie was done a disservice by that shit.
yeah,
100%.
and I would definitely just more argue on a subjective thing. I was talking to Sarah on this, the idea of like of being able to just say when you're subjectively just not in the mood for a movie. Like not like just watching a movie, but for that particular film. It's kind of like when the original thing with Kung Fu Hustle, when I first watched it, I just wasn't in the mood to watch it. So that's why I stopped.
I get that more with video games, personally, but yeah, I totally buy that.
Because there can be a perfect movie. If you're not in the mood to watch it, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, and same thing with like video games. Like a game could be mechanically perfect, but if you're not in the mood for like it, or if you're like just too tired or whatever to really appreciate it, it can really hamper your experience.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But the thing is, even with the extended stuff and like stuff I kind of don't like, I still admit that fucking like it really didn't attract from anything. It was still a fucking fantastic movie.
So
Yeah.
I guess
you would
if
have
it
to.
go-
Well, okay.
was-
So here's the thing: I'm willing to argue for perfect, but I didn't want to push it.
So my question is, if it's going in perfect, it now has to be compared to its competition.
That's what
So
I'm
what
saying.
puts-
And
puts
if
them
you
in-
remember our original recording, I directly did.
Mm.
Where, in some ways, like the opening scene of Reservoir Dogs when we're in the cafe, I don't think we quite top that, where like literally every line tells us like about how the character thinks. But in terms of like just overall dialogue and overall just scene setting, Hateful Eight is a lot more polished than Reservoir Dogs in a lot of ways.
You could say that's with time.
Yeah, time,
being a modern
experience,
movie.
time, experience, equipment, budget. It certainly fucking helps, you know.
Ninja, I feel like you would be the hardest contender against this. Do you think that Hateful Eight is on the same level as Reservoir Dogs? Because we're saying it is.
I could see the comparisons where slurs come. And I do think that out of the catalog of movies, it's probably the one that comes the closest in terms of like character work, because you've got a lot of characters in Hateful Eight and a lot of sort of moving pieces. And I guess, when you compare the two, you can say, like, obviously Reservoir Dogs is much tighter. It's a much shorter film. It doesn't have nearly the runtime, extended edition or otherwise. So you have more time to flesh out all these different characters. But I would also say that some of the character payoffs in Hateful Eight are more substantial. Like, and possibly you could even say more satisfying Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, because remember, in
I
Reservoir Dogs,
think
Some of them, yeah.
I think Reservoir Dogs is just a masterpiece in terms of like efficiency, for being as short as it is, and it's sort of like a min-max character in D&D.
Yeah, it's incredibly lean and purpose-built.
Like every line of dialogue is doing so. And you could say that there's a lot of dialogue in Hateful Eight that doesn't, but at the same time,
well, because Ninja, it was interesting that you bring up like how all the characters, like even minor ones in Hateful Eight, have like a significant payoff. But like Mr. Blue disappears from Reservoir Dogs.
He's just kind of there to be like an extra body to shuffle the deck.
You're
with.
right, but also you have like Smart Guy Eddie, who gets some really good moments in the film.
But like if we're looking at the thing as a whole, like we have one character that's just gone, whereas in Hateful Eight, like even the chick with the jelly beans like is pretty significant in that spot. You know what I mean?
Not more than Mr. Blue.
Well, she doesn't disappear. We see her fate.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, narratively, she's not super significant. Like, the broken jelly bean jar is significant, but her getting blown away is not really relevant.
But she's the one who causes that jelly bean to fucking be, like, seen. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why that jelly bean is there is because, fuck, what was his name? English Pete?
Oswaldo Mowbray.
Johnny English.
Johnny English.
Yes.
Johnny English
was... I would pay a lot of money to see Rowan Atkinson in a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, fucking that thumbnail needs to be used for like something. I don't know. I want that thumbnail used.
I'm just gonna play a Western game, and then I'm just gonna I'm streaming Red Dead. That's gonna be the thumbnail.
And just have fucking that picture. Slur, you did that picture right with fucking Rowan.
Rowan Atkinson on top of Ghostface.
Samuel Jackson's face.
Yeah.
I will say, out of all of the, if there's going to be one that would be, potentially even able to sit in the same tier, it would have to be Hateful Eight.
Yeah, I feel like that's 100% fair.
In terms of execution, and also the fact that they are so comparable, but then there's like an extra layer of complexity to Hateful Eight. It's like it's almost like a heavyweight versus like just a dex build boxer.
No. I feel like Reservoir Dogs has some complexity as well. Like don't.
It does have some. Like I don't want to like short sell it as like a fucking brainlit movie, but it is incredibly lean and efficient.
Yeah.
Whereas Hateful Eight, it's a lot more whiny. It's a lot more twisty. The relationships that you see being set up at the start of the movie are not the relationships you see towards the middle or even the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like that's fair. All right. Final movie.
Final movie.
And now we come to it.
Yep.
Pussy's Feet. Significantly push this movie down.
Hippie feet.
So that's the thing about Reservoir. See, the reason why Reservoir Dogs and Hateful Eight are up there is because they don't have feet for this shit bullshit.
Are we going to then do like a second tier list where we rank them by how much feet is in all of them?
So I'll start off with a hot take, right? So initially, I wanted to put this above Django and say it's great.
Yeah.
But being objective, being unbiased, I would say that this is either good or okay. There are some good moments in it, like the Leo stuff with the Western acting, and I think the ending is very satisfying. It's very visceral. but
It's
I don't
crunchy.
think it elevates it, above, something like Inglorious Bastards or Pulp Fiction, or even on the same level.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Okay, so since we're like now doing it almost comparison wise, do you think it is better than Django?
I think I prefer, dare I say, the themes a bit more than Django, but
This is actually something we did say earlier as well about how narratively, like just as a story, it meanders, but it does like have a very clear vision of the things that it is saying.
and I guess my thing is like, it kind of makes you think and asks questions that Django doesn't. That said, as much as I enjoy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like every moment that Christoph Waltz is on screen, even in Django, which is a movie I don't particularly like, he's just so goddamn charming. He is the best part of that fucking movie. And Leo in both movies is really fucking good. Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so fucking good. Like the dog is so fucking good. Like
Katie.
holy shit, dude. Like
That
there's
dog was acting its ass off.
no shit, dude. Holy fuck. And it's just like that ending, like it is a slow burn for like the of the film.
Yeah.
It's like a fuse just kind of ticking down, but then like god damn, that ending is like wow.
Yeah, not gonna lie, me and Ninja were playing StarCraft the entire time we were watching it because the first half of the movie is like, eh.
I was cooking.
It's like-
I was
First 2/3.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
really
eh.
like I
Well,
was
like
making.
I don't say 2/3 because like when does the cowboy scene start? You know what I mean? When
I
he's
was gonna
reading
say
his
when
book
the
up
I
until the little
want
girl
to
tells
say
him
it's
he's a great
about
actor.
halfway through.
Yeah, that's
but
like
I'm not
halfway.
halfway thing.
Yeah, so like I said,
Roughly
that moment's
halfway.
pretty fucking great. Like that, like I said, the whole scene from him going to sit next to the little girl with his book to the little girl saying "You did great." That whole scene is fucking radical,
It is.
and
Yeah.
that also has I'm pretty sure that has the Bruce Lee fight in between that, and that's also pretty fun too.
No,
Yeah,
that's
like
bu-
clear.
I think that's before.
I don't know why, but there's something like so weirdly satisfying about seeing Bruce Lee act like a little shit and then get put in his place. But they still do pay respect to him as well, because like even when they first start fighting, Bruce Lee gets the first hit on him,
yeah.
and that's
And also,
probably
the only one who ever puts him in his place is an absolute freak of nature that is fucking.
that
What was his name?
Cliff. Fuck,
Cliff.
what was his last name?
I keep
Booth.
wanting.
Cliff
Cliff.
Booth.
I keep
Booth.
wanting to fucking call him Brick for some fucking reason.
He's built like
It's
a
not
fucking
far off.
brick.
Yeah, he is a
When
When you
fucking
look at a
brick house.
cliff, it looks like
He
a fucking
is. He's
I
a cinder block
immediately
man.
I immediately thought of Brick Tamlin from Anchorman.
That would be a different movie.
That is a
Little
very
bit,
different
little
movie.
Where'd
So,
you get a hand grenade?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. So hold on, while you guys were
Try
so,
that again.
What's funny is you guys were playing StarCraft. I was making lunch for Sarah and myself. I was. we were
Lunch?
No, I
Yeah,
completely
yeah,
agree.
we
Like
rolled with the time
the
frames.
first part of this movie, it's a very slow burn. All the stuff, like while I understand why it's there, I can see why people are like all this stuff with Margot Robbie feels really out of place. Like, why are we doing this? But it's because it's part of that fuse. If you're familiar with the situation, if you know what's coming, it's supposed to kind of put your mind in the oh shit, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Because I
Yeah.
know this gets bad.
which
But the problem
that-
is,
that's
a lot of
fair.
people of our generation probably wouldn't know about that.
Exactly.
And it's not to be like insignificant to say that it is nice that this movie does bring that to a lot of people's attention. You know what I mean? Like it is something to say that like putting something in a major movie does bring it to light to a lot of people who would not have known about it.
So, as my last little potential movement of the film, while I really love Christoph Waltz in Django, would we argue that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is better sheerly from the fact that it does not have a massive character assassination moment?
Yeah, that's why I would be willing to put it in great.
Because both Leo and Brad are like really good in the movie, and you can really buy their relationship. Yeah, it's
that was the
consistent.
thing I wanted to talk about. I really didn't like the fact that they were going to break up.
He
Well,
couldn't
but
afford
I
him.
guess
It's
the
just that
implication was like they're not now, or at least that's kind of the feeling
Yeah,
I got. Because he's like, "You'll hospital bagels."
There's that implication, but like Leo was just saying, fuck you, dog. I'm dipping because I can't pay for you.
Well,
Well,
I
no,
push
I
back
think-
on that a little bit because in that scene where he's explaining, you can kind of see that Brick doesn't. He's a Sigma male. He's not really going to express anything.
no,
but
Cliff-
you can
no, but, like,
see
you can
how
even
fucking
see it.
hard it is for him.
Yeah, it's like fucking heartbreaking. It's like, goddamn, dude,
Well,
this guy's
but-
been your fucking manslave this entire time, and you're
Here's
just
the
gonna
other
fucking kick
thing
him to the
that I
curb.
take away from it is like, so from Rick's perspective, he feels like the only reason that Cliff hangs around is because he pays him. But from Cliff's perspective, he doesn't really give a shit about that.
Yeah, it's
He
like his
just
best
wants to
friend.
hang. It's his best friend. He would be there even if Cliff couldn't pay him. Which is why, even after Cliff is like, "Hey, I gotta let you go," when he's high as a fucking kite, he shows up at Rick's house instead of going home. You know what I mean?
Well, no, that
The
was
satisfying payoff
no,
at
he
the
was
end
just-
is like,
he
hey,
was just there.
Cliff, you're a good friend, and like he's in the
Remember-
fucking hospital. Like I try, still high as absolute shit, by the way.
But like the thing is, like they were just getting blackout drunk. Like I wouldn't say you should leave my house if you get blackout drunk here. You're gonna crash here, and then tomorrow you can head home.
honestly, first off, can we talk? Like, I thought this is a just super subjective thing. What the fuck was going on with Brad Pitt's hair during that breakup scene? He's got like a fucking Elvis hair going on.
No,
I mean, he combed it back, man. He slept in it. It's a bit greasy. It's fine.
Yeah, like I said, it's just something that bothered me. But here's the thing: it bothers me. It doesn't seem like something that Rick wouldn't do. So subjectively, I hate it. Objectively, it makes sense that this character would do that. So it's a bit of a
That
weird
is
spot
a,
for me.
and yeah, just jumping off like the relationship between the two. Our main criticisms for this movie is that it's weighed down by a lot of things. But even in those slow build up beginning of the fuse scenes, their relationship makes a lot of sense.
It does.
And they play off of each other really well.
Yeah, when he's crying in the parking lot, it's like he gives him his sunglasses and it's like, don't cry
Yeah.
in front of the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like it's such
Yeah,
a
Mikey,
weird
you're
thing
not
to
saying
say, but
this.
you can actually like understand the sentiment behind. Like this is how he looks out for his friend.
Hey, you're Rick fucking Dalton.
Yeah, and
Cliff is like unironically a fucking awesome friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Besides the fact that he may have killed him.
He's
But
a
whatever,
fucking
it's fine.
giga chad of
he's
a
a
character.
he's a goddamn
the
war
s-
hero.
Said he was
He's
gonna do
the-
some devil shit.
Devil
He's the-
shit?
He allegedly may have killed his wife, but in his
Allegedly.
alleged defense,
Allegedly?
she was allegedly very annoying.
I don't know. Zoe Bell seemed
I
pretty
don't-
convinced.
I don't know. I don't know about allegedly very annoying.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like, Your
she's
Honor,
from New Zealand, so
Oh, she doesn't know things. Okay.
She's
Yeah.
from one of the
Stupid
colonies.
Kiwis.
yeah.
I will
Cliff
say-
Cliff is the Samwise to Rick's Frodo.
He really
On-
is.
Yeah.
On a pure subjective level, god damn it, that final beatdown at the fucking end, I like,
dude.
Dude, I know.
So, like I said, I don't know if I said it in the fucking recording, but yeah, homegirl gets it pretty fucking bad.
She gets
Well-
the can, she gets the
Does
dog, and she gets
Anybody
the
get
flamethrower.
it? Okay, I think Samuel Jackson, Hateful Eight, almost gets it as bad as she does.
getting shot
mean,
in the
I
nuts.
don't know.
on
didn't
the
get
balls, but like that's
Yeah.
it. He doesn't
Like, he
get
gets
like
shot- but he
fucking
gets shot in the
shooting
balls,
up
and
by
he's
an
there
animal
for a
and then
good-
set on fire.
Well, he gets shot in the
No,
balls,
dude,
but he's
she gets the can, the
Yeah, but
dog, and the flamethrower.
At least Sam got a bed to lay on.
Yeah.
You know,
And he had a friend. He had fucking
Yeah.
Walter Goggins.
he
you
made a
know?
Confederate friend.
Yeah.
Like
It's fine. He's
He's
fine.
maybe,
Yeah,
He's
if he
way- he's
didn't
way
die-
better off.
I guess he didn't die screaming.
I mean, yeah, he can't feel his ass no more, but you know.
How you feel, Chris? I don't give a fuck how you feel.
Well,
I don't give a fuck
my
about your
legs.
leg.
Well, my legs pretty busted, but if I put my weight on it, I don't give a
Oh.
fuck.
About your leg. All right, yeah, I feel like okay. So, is there anybody else who gets it as bad?
I mean, okay, maybe
lot of
the
people
guy
get-
in
a lot of people get-
Django who gets like torn apart piece by piece by a fucking whip.
The dogs.
Mm-hmm.
The
You mean the
dogs,
dogs.
maybe.
It was
yeah.
the dogs.
But then it's like the dogs, and then also a flamethrower, and also being fucking caved in the face.
Well, the caved in happened
beforehand.
first.
Yeah. It's like that's how you started your evening. And then you
And-
were eaten by dogs. Or chewed
Yeah.
or mauled or whatever you want to use.
And
Yeah.
there's
Well, are
and
you
as
specifically
somebody
talking about the person? Are you talking about fuck? What? I
Ezra
don't even
Miller.
No, I'm talking about in Django. I don't know how to say the fucking name of the Three Musketeer dude.
D'Artagnan?
Alexandre. Oh,
Alexandre
D'Artagnan.
No.
Dumas.
No,
Dart-
So the
character.
guy who
Dart-
got ripped apart
Yes,
by
yes.
the dogs.
Yes,
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. Yeah.
D'Artagnan.
Onion.
I don't know why. I
Onion.
can't
It's like
fucking say it.
onion, but it's like a D'Artagnan.
Don't you mean
Yeah.
Union?
And then Chris Wall
Shut the
says
fuck up.
D'Artagnan.
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 Because he's trying to lord over that he. It's like
Yeah.
twisting the knife in candy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's do
I'm a
more.
real white person. You're a fucking
Yeah.
colonist.
I always
You play at being, high class.
I mean, I'm
am
joking
high
a
class.
little bit, but that actually is Christoph Waltz's thing. Like, remember I said, like, if you extended it out a bit, there's a reason that you could actually give for Christoph Waltz going fucking nuclear. And it's because just the way that Candy sees himself as above the brown people he has in his shed, Christoph Waltz's character genuinely sees himself above Candy. Like, as a separate fucking breed of human.
Yeah, he bites his tongue very early because remember when he's getting introduced by the lawyer, he goes, "He's something of a Francophile, and he prefers Monsieur Candy." And then he speaks French, and he's like, "Don't like." He basically just says, "Don't speak French." He doesn't speak French. So
Yeah.
at that moment,
Don't,
he's like,
don't
"Oh,
try to hold him to the standards of the thing he aspires to be.
talk down to this motherfucker almost." And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
It's kind of why subjectively I really do like that conversation in the library. The
well, yeah,
like
that's
Alexander
that conversation's
Dumas was
amazing because it
black.
ends with it's the fucking it's like one of the best fuck yous like in cinematic history.
Yeah, 'cause-
Full-hearted old, soft-hearted old Frenchie. Alexander Dumont was black, and it's like you
Yeah.
see it in Candy's face. He's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, it's
he
like
just
you
got handed a shit sandwich.
Yeah, it's like you absolute pretentious
whole,
prick.
like,
I'm actually educated, so I know this. On
I would
video.
say au revoir, but that means until I see you again.
I'd-
And I wish to see you again.
I'll beat to say.
Yeah, he's and so he's like, "To you, I say goodbye."
And like I said, and there's a nice moment where Django, when he sees Chris's Waltz's body, he goes, "I'll beat to say when I see you again." That's a thing. Like that was another thing about like between Django and Christoph Waltz's like relationship was also a really good point.
I
We talked about that in the movie.
I was going to bring up, like, on a slight thing of Django, I was going to, in my head, I was going to argue that it's a lot of good moments, but its connective tissue is honestly kind of weak. And that's that's the problem. You have to have good connective tissue. You can't just basically be a movie that's set piece to set piece to set piece. That's the problem we have with, like, The Mandalorian. The connective tissue is absolute shit.
Or even just the way we have it on the list right now is it has flaws. And like you said, a lot of it is in the connective tissue, but what you still have at the end of it is something that is very much worth watching.
Mm-hmm.
Even if just for those highlights.
Yeah. And so like even Ninja said it, it's like he has a lot of issues with Django, but it is significantly better than most shit out right now.
Of
Oh,
course,
easily. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a fair list. So what do we got for perfect? We got Reservoir Dogs and Hateful Eight.
I'm happy.
How we feel? Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, works for me.
River,
Yeah, I'm good.
Tom.
Yes.
All right, for awesome tier, we got Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Bastards. Fucking their posters between Inglourious and Hateful Eight look very similar at a glance. It's kind of bothering me.
They do. So,
Yeah.
actually, I do have a question. What stops Pulp Fiction from being imperfect?
There's some weird stupidisms in it. Like we talked about this in the episode, so feel free
Yeah,
to
but
go
it's
back
been-
and watch
but-
this if it's viewers. But it was just a lot of the fuck. Oh my god, it's
I was going to say time has passed, so that, like,
Yeah,
I
time has
feel like we can
passed.
have this
It's-
conversation.
There's a lot of superficial stuff, but like as far as actual character building goes, like you don't get to know the characters in Pulp Fiction as well as you do in Reservoir Dogs, or
yeah.
like you just don't.
Yeah, the only one we get the closest to would probably only be Jules.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's actually Butch that gets the most.
Yeah,
but,
Butch
like,
probably gets the most backstory.
Yeah, but like he's like less tied to most of the characters, besides the fact that he kills one of the characters.
That might be what creates that separation for me, because he's just so separate from everything else.
Exactly, but he's completely tied to it because he winds up killing Vincent, who's a significant character in the show.
Right.
God, fuck. I say show. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. But
The picture show.
the moving pictures. But yeah,
Pay a nickel
sh-
for them.
I'm trying to think back to it, but yeah, I do. Like, here's the thing, because I remember, because Pulp Fiction is easily one of my favorite movies of all time, flat out. But I will admit, it did have like some shit that bothered me. Like the biggest flaw of the entire
And
movie.
it's not like we're saying it's horrible or
yeah, no, of
you know what I
course.
mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
we're
no.
still putting it very, very high on the list.
Right, and
Yes.
We're just admitting that it's not as tight as Reservoir Dogs.
But here's
Right,
the thing:
and
I
I
would watch
was-
Pulp Fiction over Reservoir Dogs.
I
Like,
can agree.
remember what was said that put it
Pulp
in
Fiction is
awesome
way more
anyway was
quotable.
just that we said, like, initially, I don't think we even talked about Pulp Fiction when we put it on the tier list. Was just
Yeah, we just
I threw
it
out that
there.
I feel like it's a tier below Reservoir Dogs, and we kind of went with that. We didn't really explore it a lot, but narratively, it does kind of tie together, but it's not as tight as Reservoir Dogs
And
or
I feel like
Hateful
it's
Eight. The character work can all be very not weak necessarily, but shallow.
I remember one of my biggest issues was actually the fucking, what is it called when a piece of media is completely chronologically out of order?
Juxtaposition.
Is it juxtaposition? Because like, did you ever
Oh,
play Beyond Two?
juxtaposition just means two things next to each other that contrast.
Yeah, like, do you remember? Did any of y'all play Beyond Two Souls?
Yes, and I
No.
hated it.
Beyond Two Souls is like Pulp Fiction timeline on crack. Like, you literally go from, so you're playing as this character Jodie. You go from her being a baby to her almost killing herself, back to her as a teen, back to her as like CIA, but then back to her as like a toddler. It jumps so fucking far, and it's really hard to keep up with. I'm not
So
saying
the-
Pulp Fiction is bad as fucking Beyond Two Souls. Fuck no, but that shit does bother me.
Well, I was gonna say the funniest thing about that, Max, is because you and I have both played it, and I'm assuming we've both seen the Two Best Friends playthrough. They
Yeah, of course.
released a mode where it's like, oh, would you like to just play the story in chronological order?
But because of the way the
genuinely
game
worse.
is structured, it can't work that way.
It only
Sorry,
hurts
this is a bad tangent, but like they try to fix it by releasing on a PS4.
Yeah,
because
free.
it's a PS3 game. So it's a PS3 game, but then they released it for PS4 remastered, and they put it in chronological order. Problem is, the tutorial is her in the CIA, like going into boot camp. So you have to play a significant amount of the game without the tutorial. It's like, what? And
Yeah, I
yeah,
would just call that like non-linear.
yes. So
It's like it's an oversimplification, but like you're talking
Yeah.
about something quite specific.
Yeah, non-linear storytelling.
yeah, and I feel like I don't know. See, in like Beyond Two Souls, it breaks it, but like I don't know if putting Pulp Fiction in a chronological order would make it better or not.
I don't think it would necessarily break anything.
Like, you could still have the opening scene of no, I guess you wouldn't be able to do
I don't
that.
think it matters that much. It's a style.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's not like there's a thematic through line that's gonna get broken up if you put things into strict chronological order. Not really. Like part of the whole appeal of Pulp Fiction is that it is so disjointed, and at first it seems kind of random until you see how it all ties together. And you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it's kind of like how most people experience the movie the first time.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it ends with like Vincent alive, even though in an earlier scene we see him die. But a lot of people would say if you had to cut something out of the movie, a lot of people would say they would cut the Butch scenes.
There's a few lines of dialogue that I really like with Butch, and I forget her name.
The
His girlfriend.
the Mongoloid or Borbalobos, whatever the fuck her name was.
Yeah, whatever the fuck her name was. But other than that, I really don't like his
There's-
whole part of the storyline does feel really disconnected from everything going on with like yeah, he's directly connected to Wallace, kind of, but not in the same way that the other characters are.
I mean, he was a hire. He was basically a. You could say he was a hired merc because he was going to do a job of throwing a fight.
I guess, but the whole thing was he was basically trying to cut ties with him because even Marcellus was like,
well, he fucked him over. That's the thing.
well, no, but even before that, when he's talking to him about taking the dive, he's like, "You're, past your prime. Like it was gonna happen eventually. Like, I'm basically done with you, more or less." Was the implication. And I mean, other than those scenes with him and the only other part of his storyline that people is the Christopher Walken bit about the watch.
The watch.
Being up his ass.
Being up his ass.
For 5 years. He wore that watch up his ass.
He'd be damned if you let the G words take you.
You get literally any other actor in Hollywood history to play that role in that scene, it wouldn't have been even half as legendary.
Oh, dude,
his
the
performance
fact he
made that scene.
The fact that he played it so fucking straight, considering how ridiculous the message was. I feel like 100% straight. Like, goddamn, that was amazing.
I don't think Nick Cage could have done it justice. Like,
I don't know. If he played it straight, I feel
Christopher Walken has like a very particular cadence that really breaks up the impact of. Because he sets it up so seriously. He's like, it's fucking prisoner of war camp. I knew your dad. It's like a bond of honor. And it's like the way his delivery just puts off like the fact that it was up his hole. Like just off that little extra second just makes it hit harder.
Yeah, well, he also fucking gives a really good speech like before that. Like he's really emotionally like invested. Your father. This is your father's watch. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's still.
And now it's your watch. It's your legacy.
It's your legacy.
But it was up his ass.
Your great grandfather. He got it from a guy named Wanaki, a man he never met before. He said, "Give this to his unborn son," and he did. And then it went to his son because he stuffed up his ass.
Stored it in the one place he knew.
Hunk
his
of
ass.
metal up my ass for 5 years. Or something significant like that.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Generally, yeah, there's a lot about Pulp Fiction that makes it awesome, but it is not perfect.
Yes.
At least I don't think so. And at least when we look at the other two movies we have in perfect, I do think that Pulp Fiction is weaker than both of them.
Yeah, I mean, more quotable maybe, but not like, better.
Certainly more influential. Like,
sure.
Pulp Fiction was fucking huge.
Like, it is not without significance saying that Pulp Fiction is probably the most popular movie on this list.
Oh, easily. Yeah, easy.
And then, yeah, right next to Pulp Fiction was Inglourious Basterds. It also had its flaws, but I feel like it had a lot of merit. And like,
absolutely.
Like, just
I'm still a little bitter. We live in the timeline where we didn't get Adam Sandler as the Bear Jew.
Dude, okay.
You guys keep saying that.
Fucking mention that. So Quentin Tarantino wanted Adam Sandler to be the Bear Jew.
I mean,
I think he could have done it. Like, honestly.
So hold on.
Fuck.
Hold on. In terms of like, hold on. In terms of missed potential. If we're gonna do that, what about Will Smith as Django? Because it was supposed to be him.
What? No, because I like Jamie Foxx too, and I
Wild West ruined it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, oh god, fuck, you're totally right.
I'm the only person who likes Wild West.
I enjoy
Why do you like that movie? Okay, you can like it.
Hold on.
Is it good or bad?
No, it's bad.
That's
it's
where I'm going with this. I find it very, very entertaining. It's a lot of fun. It's a shit movie.
Yeah, it's garbage tier.
Wild
Who's the
West.
Fucking crippled guy or whatever, the bad guy?
Loveless!
It's
Loveless?
Shut the fuck up. No. That's not his name.
That's actually his name.
And he's got like a steampunk wheelchair, which can turn into like a spider mech at the end of the fucking movie. Because
that's the thing. But like the first time him and Will Smith interact, it's just like, yes, I don't like my coffee. black. It's like,
No,
well,
yeah.
don't don't get out of your seat about it.
No, yeah.
Just
Lindsay
throwing
Ellis.
shit at each other.
Lindsay Ellis actually kind of stated it best. Well, you're black. Well, you're short.
Well, no,
Rinse-
Nostalgia Critic had it the best.
So, well, you're
Your mom-
crippled.
Your mama's
Yeah.
your mama's so dumb she black. Well, your mama's so dumb you in a wheelchair.
No, but I love that movie way too.
I watched it a lot as a kid when I didn't realize what objectivity was. So I can.
Even as a kid, I knew this was shit, but I also knew it was very funny.
No, as a kid, you couldn't.
Even if it
convince
didn't
me
intend to be sometimes.
Wiki
No,
Wild
I
Wild
wasn't
West.
as a
aware of
child,
it.
as a child, you couldn't convince me that Wild Wild West wasn't on the same level as Star Wars. That was just something I would die on.
Okay, what the fuck?
I know because I love that movie, but now I really want to go back and watch it. But that's,
I mean, we
will
could put it on
watch
the list.
Wild.
you know
Wild
what time
West
is it?
with
All right.
you.
Anyway, we need to just wrap this the fuck up. So let's start spitfiring this. So great tier. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had a lot of great stuff. Felt a little unfocused, so that kind of brings it down. Still a fucking awesome movie. Django Unchained had some amazing performances from pretty much all the main characters. Unfortunately, the character assassinations and the plot armor towards the end do fucking bring it down, and that's the unfortunate bit.
Okay, so
Okay.
do we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not quite as good as Pulp Fiction or Inglourious, but it is better than Django, and Django is better than Kill Bill and Jackie Brown, but not quite as good as Once Upon a Time. Just that sentence without looking at the graph, does that sentence sound right?
That sounds fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
accurate.
Yes.
And,
Alright.
And I think
Wyatt-
everyone's pretty much in agreement that Death Proof is fine where it's at.
And I was gonna say Wyatt personally likes Kill Bill, and I personally like Jackie Brown, but we can admit that they are not as good as the other movies. And then of course, bad fucking.
I do think it's worth noting how
Shut
weird
the
it is that
put that
Kill
back-
Bill, because we all seem to remember it being way better than it
Well-
actually was. On the rewatch, we were like, "Holy shit, this
Well,
is
there-
way worse."
I
than
do
we were
think. Okay, Kill Bill and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are the two biggest sets versus our initial predictions. Because I think initially we were predicting that we would put Kill Bill quite high, and initially before watching Once Upon a Time, a few of you were predicting that it was going to be on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think that on its own is the biggest switch up, where Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actually came out looking pretty fucking decent, whereas Kill Bill did not age all that well, it seems.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to
Definitely-
say I think I've changed my mind on Death
Quit
Proof
memeing and put that
'cause-
shit back where it goes.
because
Yeah, put
only
that
in
down at the
Death
bottom
Proof
so we
do
can
we
get a screenshot
do we see somebody just absolutely eat shit on a motor.
I don't know, dog. I feel like every other fucking movie has a fucking gut buster. So, you know what I mean?
Oh.
You can't you go through all these movies and you can find the gut busting moment, not the tipping moment, as Mr. Pink for Reservoir Dogs. Fuck, shit. Hateful Eight was just anything that fucking Mannix said. Pulp Fiction is we talked about The Watch. Inglourious Bastards is pretty much anything that Brad Pitt or Christoph Waltz say. Was there a gut buster in Hollywood?
I would
fucking
argue.
dog.
The dog.
Well, no,
yeah,
I would
no, yeah.
argue the entire ending is a gut
The
buster
entire
because
ending.
of
You
just
know what?
how-
Yeah, we were fucking because the flamethrower is just so ridiculous. Django, the fucking KKK scene, just without a doubt, it's one of the funniest fucking things ever. Was there a laugh out moment in Kill Bill?
I mean, there are parts where we were laughing at it, with the chain spike ball with the girl, but
I was gonna say we were laughing at it with the whole
I think Kill Bill
Kablam.
takes itself a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of comedy in it.
it
I
takes
guess,
itself more seriously while aping a genre that very much didn't.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, probably the funniest part of Kill Bill would be Pai Mei, right?
Yeah,
Just
actually,
anything
yeah,
and everything to do with
yeah,
that.
Pai Mei was
subplot.
pretty fucking great. I forgot about Pai Mei.
Well, there is also Chuck who likes to fuck.
And
No,
the
it's-
pussy
that
wagon.
was
No,
that
his
was
name's
uncomfortable.
name's Buck.
That's
My
also,
name's
that's not-
Buck, and I
My
like
name's Buck. I'm here to fuck.
Yeah, but Pai
and the
Mei
pussy
was
wagon.
but Pai Mei was like a fucking anime character in this fucking action serious action movie.
Oh
Like, he
shit!
straight
Yeah.
up, he literally fucking flicked. So I don't think it actually happened in the movie, but for some reason I always remembered when he flicked his fucking beard, it actually made a crack noise.
He floated on
Oh,
top
yeah.
of the sword. Of course, he's an
Yeah,
anime
dude.
character.
Yeah, that's right. Was there a bust out in Jackie Brown?
Not really.
Not
I feel like
really.
there was, but I just can't remember it.
No, we
It was
just kept
something
making
with it was
fun of
something with
it.
Sam.
Maybe with the when he kills that guy.
When he
in
kills
the
Robert De
trunk?
Niro? Oh no.
No. When he kills the
Tucker.
guy, like, because he's like, some of the banter back and forth, but he's like,
Yeah,
"I want
definitely.
the
Yeah,
fucking trunk,"
definitely
you know?
the banter's fucking great. Like, and fucking what's his face Robert De Niro just turning around shooting that chick was pretty fucking like crazy.
I told her I was gonna fucking do it.
She just fucking she was talking and the fucking gun went
Told her to shut up.
So yeah, so there you go. Every single one of these movies has like a moment laughing. So your motorcycle thing has just been cut down.
Well, sorry. The only reason that kills me because I don't, because it's just so out of nowhere. Like it's not really because we do
But
see it swerve off.
It's still fine for that to be in bad. Like, just because it has
No, yeah.
one good
No.
thing in it.
No,
Yeah.
I was just, I know it's bad. I had so much fun seeing that fucking motorcycle.
Well, yeah. Wild Wild
Uh,
West. It's very entertaining. It's not good.
It's not good. It's not good.
The Room.
Oh, hi,
Anything
Mark.
by Neil Breen. I can't believe you committed suicide.
Yeah, don't you talk shit on our Lord and Savior Neil Breen.
Yeah, but like, yeah, the general point is we can have a lot of fun watching some really shit movies.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that amount of fun that you had in fucking Death Proof, you had it in literally all the other movies. So that's not an X factor.
Yeah, fair.
That was my whole point. Is that like every single one of the movies like had a moment where we just couldn't handle what was happening and we kind of started like, cracking up. So, like I said, fucking Jackie Brown, we saw a woman get shot. That's horrible. But because of how abrupt it is and how they talked about it, it was fucking hilarious. So anyway. Yeah, I feel like that fucking wraps it up. This was our Tarantino arc. I'm really glad we fucking got a chance to do all these movies because all these movies are fucking bangers.
And
Yeah, and that's the thing I really liked about this arc is like there really is no like just total dog shit anywhere on this list.
Yes.
Even the absolute worst is so much better than most of the crap that's out there right now.
Yep.
I feel like if Tarantino makes another movie, which he eventually will, we should definitely get back together and then add it to the list.
Yeah, this is where Y.A.R.P goes its separate directions until Quentin makes another movie, obviously.
Yeah, this is like Avengers 1. This is Avengers 1, like one of us is going back to Asgard.
I'm going to the moon just to hang out.
We should probably
Fucking
just
chill.
take a screenshot of this tier
I think
list,
Max
so
did.
when eventually does
yet,
come
but I
out with
will
another
later.
movie, we could just kind of like defer right back to this image and see where we would slot it in.
There you go.
I got it.
Just to maybe save ourselves a
Yeah,
bit
just
of time.
do that. Well, do me a favor. That's what I wanted to do with the screenshot. Cut out the fucking bottom 3. So
Fair enough,
Get it as
hold
close
on.
to, click
And
as
you
close
don't
to-
need to go all the way to
Well,
And
hold
you-
on. We don't know that the new one won't be like
don't need
3
to-
tiers
Ooh,
below
okay,
Death Proof.
okay, put awful on. Don't cut the bottom. Put awful. There is potential. So
Can you leave in the summer barbecues ad?
No.
Oh,
See, the audience can't see
that
that.
corn looks really fucking good, dog.
yeah, I want some.
I want that
pie.
pie,
It
though.
looks better
Yeah,
than
the pie,
coleslaw,
man.
So
That's what I was thinking.
Hold
What
on.
is that
Let
on
me,
the top? That's not coleslaw.
What is that salad?
hold on.
I
Let
say it
me.
looks better than coleslaw. Yes.
I don't know.
Depends on the
Let me-
salad, but
They're
It
both
looks like
mundane foods.
It looks like there's
but-
tomatoes in it. There's not
hold on.
tomatoes in coleslaw.
I was gonna
No.
say I'm showing the audience what the screen actually looks like because I had a special Windows made for just that, which was just the box. So it's like we've been staring at this like this ad just went off out of nowhere.
Well,
And
hold on
for
a
people
second.
who were confused by why I was confused when I first saw it, I mean, look at the way it's like kind of
And then-
framed.
Just out of curiosity, real quick, there's a button that I'm curious about. What is View Community Rank? What does that look like?
Oh
Wait, where's
god.
that? Oh,
Wait.
interesting. Okay, we got the screenshot. Wait, we got the screenshot, right?
Oh.
I already I have it.
All right, let's end it with this.
okay, hold on.
What?
Ooh.
Perfect.
Hang on.
I mean,
Fucking Death Proof
That's what I said. If
Hateful
you look
Eight
at my
in the
list,
middle,
that's my
objectively
top
wrong.
3.
What do they have at the top?
Okay.
Kill Bill 2 was the bad one,
That's
and
the
fucking Kill Bill
Django
1 was the
and Pulp
great
Fiction?
one.
A lot
They
of people
put
say
fucking Pulp Fiction and Django above Reservoir Dogs.
They put
That
Jackie
is-
Brown on the same level as Hateful Eight.
Pulp
Yeah,
Fiction, Django, and Bastards are perfect.
I like
Kill Bill
Jackie
1
Brown.
and
It is
2 are like
not Hateful Eight.
separated into two entire.
Kill Bill 1 and 2 are so fucking far apart.
What the fuck?
Fuck,
I'm
dude.
Okay.
What else you got?
Weird.
That was a bit
That is
weird,
fucking
but
terrible.
not awful.
I don't like the fact that this one's named Quentin.
Okay,
I think
Inglorious Bastards is like
Oh my-
consistently at the top, which I'm not
Reservoir
mad
Dogs.
about.
Okay.
Oh
look at
my
Reservoir
God,
Dogs
That's not
what?
good. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
not good, dog.
And look, they
And
put
Hateful
Jackie
Eight
Brown
is
and Hateful
good.
Eight the same again.
Yeah, Hateful Eight's
What the
good.
fuck?
That's just.
I think the running theme,
you,
what's going to be
Quentin.
consistent is that
I
Death
wonder
Proof is
if
going to be at
that's
the
a
bottom
I
every
wonder if that's a
time.
certain YouTuber.
wow, hold
Inglorious
on.
Bastards is going to be near the top. Death Proof is going to be near the bottom, and Hateful
Look,
Eight is
Death
going to be
Proof is at the bottom
consistently
again.
underrated.
None of them were perfect.
Nothing
wow.
was perfect.
Perfect.
Reservoir
Okay.
Dogs was only
Harsh.
great.
Death
Kill
Proof's at the
Bill
bottom
is
again.
above Reservoir Dogs. Okay.
But again, Kill Bill 1 and 2 are separated.
Yeah. Why is is Kill Bill 2 like always below it?
Yes.
Why?
It seems to be pretty consistently below it.
That's
Talk to
weird.
a normie and Kill Bill Volume 2, probably because it doesn't have as much violence as
I
the
was
first
about to say
one.
that's literally why.
It doesn't
Is-
have the
wait,
88.
This one's missing some.
SABCF.
Oh, S tier.
So S
So
tier.
S tier is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Death Proof isn't even on this fucking list.
Bastards
Why-
and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, like I said, it's
There's some hate on Hateful Eight.
like, hang
there.
on, I'm curious. Would you guys, okay, if you had to put one over the other, what would you put? Kill Bill 1 or 2?
I think one's better, but
I
not.
think 2's better.
Fuck. No. So
I
here's the
think
thing.
2 has the better scene, but
'Cause
in its
remember,
entirety, I think 1 is better.
Because the fucking, what I'm saying, that whole fucking crazy hate fight is just fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Why-
but the rest of the movie that leads up to it is a lot more solid. Like
Why
the
is
entire
everyone putting
story
Hateful
and-
Eight so fucking low?
and
Because
it's a-
Because
I'm-
it's a
I'm-
slow
it's a
burn.
right.
and it's
consistently
Because it's-
underrated.
Yeah,
depending
to-
on
'cause it's quote-unquote
where
boring.
what version you watch, it can be painful.
let me
Yeah.
I don't
describe
think the extended edition was that bad
Yeah,
though.
it
Both,
wasn't
both
that bad.
versions are
Hold on.
fantastic.
Hold on, let me basically because I can answer this perfectly. Being like my normie years are still
Oh,
so
click
close
on the
to me.
studded zombies one.
Studded zombie. Which one is
Top right. Top right. There you
in here's the normie view. Violence.
Oh
fuck
my
that.
god, look at that list.
I can't believe fucking
Death
Barely
Proof.
any
Proof
violence.
is
Above
two
the
entire
Hateful Eight and
tiers.
Jackie Brown. Go
Oh,
fuck
no.
yourself, you
So,
Jesus
Death Proof
Christ.
is one rank below Reservoir
Significantly-
Dogs,
significantly better than Hateful Eight. You
and
go
Hateful
fuck
Eight
yourself.
is at the
So-
bottom.
I gotta. So
Hateful Eight and Jackie Brown get an F.
Are there comments? Hang on, is there comments? Can you scroll down?
Surely there are comments,
No.
right? Oh,
No. Okay.
so
Lucky for them.
Ninja. I hate to break your heart, but in terms
there's
of
just
the
emojis.
the normie perspective, the way the normies view Quentin Tarantino is he's the guy who makes movies about violence. They don't care about
Hateful
the
Eight, that's
dialogue.
fine.
Hateful Eight is violent as absolute fuck. What do you mean?
The-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that doesn't even
but-
make sense if that's their ranking.
But at the same time, it's a slow burn. Like River kind of hit the nail on the head with that.
What? Once
So is
upon a
fucking
time,
Once Upon a
yeah,
Time in Hollywood,
once
dude.
upon a time in Hollywood is 3 hours.
That's why most people don't. Hold on, let's look
Yeah,
at.
people are stupid. That's just that's
Yeah,
just
that's-
what we're getting.
Yeah, this is just a
Most people have
confirmation.
weird fucking criteria
Pulp-
that they're using
Yeah.
to evaluate.
Pulp
it.
Fiction has less violence than Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
Right.
it really does.
Significantly.
I don't know the fucking
Normies are just fucking
Her
stupid.
ODing
and
always bothered me.
it's-
Her ODing bothers me more than like all of the gore in the other movies.
I think that's why
Yeah.
I just have
It's
such
very
a
well executed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a
just
very
say,
intense scene, but it's
Yeah.
not very gory and it's not very violent.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of yelling and there's a lot of panic, but
Mhm.
there's not like a lot of like fucking
That's-
hateful
probably why-
harm
Yeah, it's-
being
it's
done
high-
to human beings.
It's a high
probably-
stress situation. It's not
yeah, it's probably why it
violent.
makes me more uncomfortable to be honest. Wait, is this ours?
no.
No.
No, this isn't ours. That's close.
This
That's
is
really
just the one that
close, yeah.
seems like almost acceptable.
Almost.
Yeah,
Like-
honestly, it's
well-
pretty damn close to what we put.
This is
Yeah,
the
but
less.
pretty
This is the
Other than Hateful Eight, I mean,
this is the least
Yeah.
egregious one I've seen.
yeah, easily.
Although they also did put Kill Bill 1 and 2 in the same tier with Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
Good
just
on
like
you,
us.
random citizen.
They
Nice.
rated all three exactly like
And,
us. Said okay.
and he just titled
the-
it. He just titled it
Movies.
movies.
Thank you, movies.
I don't know why. I'm picturing that fucking.
These are all the
Oh,
movies I've seen.
You know
Who's
what?
that chick
This guy.
Who's that chick from Bleach who's like holding the bread?
Oh shit.
They put like that
Oh,
NPC
bread
face over
girl?
her.
The girl with the
And-
bread?
Yeah, and just put that NPC face over her and it's bread. Just picturing this guy with the fucking NPC face in movie as he
Well-
holds like a fucking copy of, of
I just-
something.
I love how
Movie.
it shows his
Movie.
Twitter and he's got 1 follower. I was about to just go, you just gained 1 more.
Give him another follower. Fuck it.
It's Tarantino.
I'm not logged in on Firefox, so I
Okay.
can't.
Well,
I-
all right, fair enough, and don't reveal too much personal shit.
I
But
bet.
yeah, anyway, that's the fucking end of the goddamn video. What's up, guys?
I do find it interesting that like most of them would put Inglourious Basterds at the top or near the top. Fucking Death Proof is always at the bottom.
Always.
No.
Almost always.
Except that
Except
one
that
guy.
one guy
There was
who
that
had
one
like
guy
2
who thought
rungs
Hateful Eight
above
was a
Hateful
worse
Eight.
movie than fucking Death
Oh.
Proof, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. But
There's-
most of them
there's
just
always
have,
one.
like, Death Proof way down the bottom, which is
I,
Yeah.
interesting.
There's always
And I-
one.
and I think this just proves
Always
at
a
the end.
bigger Desmond.
Personally, this is why I don't like normies for the most part
Yeah,
because
Normies suck.
they're
Fucking
stupid.
normies.
Three.
Hooray.
Autistic ring intensifies.
Oh,
You fucking-
will raise you one re.
Deku, you fucking normie. Teacher, he just called me the N
The
word.
N word. Yeah, kids, stop being such a normie. Hey, man, you can't say that about kids. It's 2016.
I think with that,
Fucking Kamui Woods calls him a normie. Anyway, all right, come on, we're done. We're done. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We have something in the works that should be quite interesting coming up soon. So
Yeah.
be prepared.
Oh.
we.
Oh.
All
Also.
Oh.
right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Jog
See
on.
ya.
Bye, 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 bye.
Yeah.
Bye, 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 bye.